updates, updates and more updates. Learn about all of them right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to RomRom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to a regular news roundup. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. Thanks for watching, my name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. It's that time of the month, and this month we even have something about BeamNG.drive to tell you about, added to the classics like Automobilista 2 and rFactor 2. In fact, I think we have something about every sim out there that is not made by Kunos. We have a lot to tell you about once again, so let's get to it. We give up. We suppose we'll be offering you news about Automobilista 2 every week for the next 52 weeks? Before we start, we want to read a statement in full by Reza regarding G29, G920 and G923 wheels. There is currently a conflict with the latest Logitech G-Hub software, causing the game to crash at startup. We are working on a temporary workaround to the issue to be deployed early on next week. For the time being, in order to run AMS2, users of these wheels need to either uninstall G-Hub or roll back to the previous, disabling auto-update right after installation to prevent it from updating to any of the more recent versions. G-Hub is kinda useless anyway, so go ahead and get rid of it. Back to the news. We expect a big bug-fixing release very soon now, if it hasn't happened between us uploading the video and the video being published, as it has happened to us more than once with Razer. And while Razer have clearly stated they are concentrated in eliminating any bugs we all report to them, they would not be the company we have known for many years if they would not do more than that. Real weather and dynamic live track are getting updates, and if we understood correctly, they will be available for multiplayer anytime soon, which would make multiplayer races even more interesting, as pilots have to watch the weather reports to decide on a good strategy. Also, Razer wants to have real feed for environment, temperatures and humidity data programmed into the sim until the end of this month, coming nearer and nearer to a realistic sim, at least with regards to the weather. Also during this month, but we suppose even after that, all tracks are going to get seasonal foliage so that the graphics of the track fit the season and the date the race is happening. Another thing, and moving away from graphics completely, Razer are working on revamping the whole physics around traction control with an ETA of end of this month. They expect to make it possible to change the settings for ABS and traction control during the race from your wheel until then, too. Once the corrections in the custom championship are ready, we will see extensive work being done on the multiplayer lobby as well as the monitor screens. Keeping up with their policy to publish most of the cars for free comes a sweet new car we're sure will have many drooling, as it is the Porsche 911 Carrera RSR from 1974, which will be added to the 1970s GT Roadster. This is one of the big classic cars everyone loves, and we're sure many of you cannot wait to lay their hands on it. And they are continuing to give AI drivers specific personality traits, even making some of them better on some tracks, some of them better on other tracks. So yeah, other than bug fixes, not much going on. NASCAR and iRacing have signed a wide-ranging partnership agreement that will see the ailing race series work together with iRacing, giving the sim the opportunity to work on new and proposed tracks long before they are part of NASCAR, collaboration on the new NASCAR race car, production of content for the NASCAR channels, and even having iRacing being used as training tool. Personally, we think the rFactor 2 engine is better suited for that, but that's our personal opinion. This partnership comes as no surprise though, and that not only because NASCAR is grasping at any straws it can find to survive, but more because iRacing and NASCAR have already worked together hand in hand in many projects, like the Auto Club Speedway and the Chicago Street Circuit, the latter being available only in digital form. For now. And of course, let's not forget iRacing is for now the only sim where you can race a whole series in oval tracks. That may change with Automobilista 2 and more specifically with the NASCAR sim that will be developed by Studio 397 using the rFactor 2 engine, but for now, if you want to do an oval series, you have to go iRacing. On the prowl for any place where they can score wins, Williams Racing has partnered with Resolve, an esports group, and will be taking part in a Rocket League tournament organized by Psyonix. Maybe Rocket League will be the official sim racing entry to the next Olympics? We're sure the IOC would consider it. Of course, depending on the sum they get for that. Thanks to an interview with Daniela Zanardi, Alessandro Zanardi's wife, published by BMW, we know the driver and Paralympic medalist is undergoing extensive rehabilitation work under the guidance of doctors, physiotherapists, neuropsychologists, and speech therapists after his accident while training on his hand cycle. Daniela is thankful for the many good wishes and the continuous interest in the well-being of her husband, to which we want to add our wishes too, of course. Zanardi is an example of the qualities we at RomRom admire in any person, any racer. According to her, Zanardi is able in body and mind, but his vocal cords have lost elasticity after a long coma. He is regaining strength in arms and hands and is able to communicate, just not yet through speech. It's going to be a long while until he's going to be able to lead a normal life. If the life of Alessandro Zanardi could ever have qualified as normal. Our thoughts are with him, who has always been an example of how we want to go through life. Hot on the heels of bringing the BMW that was not allowed to be DTM anymore, Studio 397 are working on a new car which they say is about to be released. It's the new Formula Pro car that, as you can imagine by the name, is going to be an open-wheeler similar to those open-wheelers you are not allowed to name on YouTube, or the license monster is going to take them away from you. It seems the cars are based on the 2022 technical specification of those open-wheelers. A first version is already available since Thursday. The final version will come during the month of July. One update we could have used last week in the Le Mans race was the display of tire compounds in the overlay, which will come with the next release of rFactor 2. And Studio 397 have signed a license agreement with BMW to be able to release the 2022 BMW M4 GT3, which you won't be seeing anytime soon as the car is still in development by BMW. Sometimes there is a point where a good idea gets trapped by greed, where what was a good idea gets perverted because somebody can't get enough money. Humble Bundle, which started as an excellent idea, has been engulfed by greed. After a first try a couple of months ago where charities would have ended getting nothing, this week Humble Bundle decided you won't be able to say how much of their cut they are going to take. And from now on, it's going to be at least 15 and up to 30%. Now, 15% it's reasonable. But while it's okay to ask for it, it's not okay to force people to it, even less for an endeavor that started as a helping hand. Therefore, and with great sadness in our hearts, we will no longer be offering you news about bundles that have to do with sim racing. We feel Humble Bundle has reached a point where we cannot in good faith continue supporting them. The development of our favorite destruction simulator, sorry BeamNG, is taking pace again, now that the PS5 issues seem to have been corrected at last. And I suppose trickling down from those, the PC version got a big graphics update. It also got better network code and many bug fixes. In case you get a data mismatch error message from Wreckfest, the developers advise to verify the integrity of the Wreckfest files on Steam, as they encountered this issue while testing but cannot pinpoint why this happens exactly enough to be able to solve it by any other means. Hey, it happens. Oh yeah, and from July 6th on, the Wrecking Madness seasonal event will have multiplier coins that will multiply your score for a while after you collect them, as the name implies. The damage model and the sound also got some updates and tweaks, and yes, a link to the complete list is in the description of this video. With the total amount of average players on racing sims being the highest we've ever recorded, but then again we only started in April, Assetto Corsa is once again high up there, only beaten by BeamNG, which numbers rose really high last month. Automobilista 2 picked up some speed, which is nice to see, and I know of some of my racing buddies discovering their interest for Racer's latest because of the Racing USA DLC. Even Kartcraft got more average racers last month. On the other hand, be aware we're talking very small numbers here. All these numbers surprise us, as we were expecting a decline in the number of sim racers now that summer is at full throttle, as are the vaccinations. And especially with football, the real one, not the American one, being everywhere due to the Euro Cup or whatever that thingy is called. No, we don't care much about football around here. Anyway, despite all of that, the numbers look good for sim racing last month. Let's see what the future brings. BeamNG.drive publishes one update per season, and now that we're in summer in the northern hemisphere, it's no surprise we get the summer release. In this new version, we're getting a new grid map. That's right, the most basic, but on the other hand, most thorough of the maps, because it's got everything, got bigger, has gotten 11 different zones depending on what you want to destroy, test in your car, but also more roaming space. And not only has the strangely familiar Ibishu pigeon been revamped, it got a new partner, the Ibishu Widgeon, because it's got a wing. As with the pigeon, you get the 3-wheeled version as well as the completely boring new 4-wheel version. Who needs stability in taking corners, right? And of course, all the configurations and customizations of the pigeon. With regards to the core of the software, the graphics have been updated, the material structure made more realistic, and BeamNG has seen first careful tests in using the Vulkan rendering engine. Note that the latter is still on an experimental phase. Also, BeamNG now has working traffic lights, the AI a first step into understanding how they work, and even some new police actions regarding them. For drivers in Rome and Madrid, yes, there are parts of the world where traffic lights mean something. And you know which kind of sim BeamNG.drive is when you read words like improved oil simulation, reworking of the oil starvation logic, or support for oil starvation during cornering and jumping. Did I say they changed the thingy with the oil? Because they did. Of course, there have been corrections and bug fixes regarding many cars, trailers, tires and levels, powertrain and scenarios, amongst many others. A link to the detailed list of changes is in the description. And you'll find a link to many other videos in our channel if you check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.